Is up, guys? What is up? Welcome to the podcast, guys, live. Just getting started here. Gonna wait till we have some folks join. Rob and Nando here. The podcast, guys, live on the East Coast. A little bit past 2:30 a.m. There we go. What is up, guys? What is up? Welcome to the podcast, guys, live. And make sure that you jump on YouTube and check out our videos. Subscribe to our channel. Give it a second till we get some folks in. Everybody's probably partying on a Friday night, but we are not. We are grinding away. What's up, guys? Welcome to the podcast, guys, live. It is Rob and Nando in the house. We appreciate you guys joining and supporting our channel. Make sure you subscribe to the channel on YouTube, the podcast, guys. We are on all platforms, social media platforms, almost all of them. Instagram, Facebook, Spotify, Rumble, TikTok, Threads. Check us out there. But make sure you mainly subscribe to the channel on YouTube because we have our live right now, which if you subscribe, you get notified. And also, we're going to have ladies on the show. We're going to have more episodes coming up. So let's get to work. So tonight, we are going to talk about Rob? What are we going to discuss tonight?
Today's topic is going to be how to avoid the friend zone. I think as a man, one of the worst experiences you're ever going to have in dating is when you put time, energy, and effort into a woman, you take her out on dates, you're there for her, you emotionally support her, and then in the end, you only find out that she had absolutely no interest in you and she just saw you as a friend. So we're going to go over how to avoid that altogether.
100%.
We're going to probably give it another minute or two for people to join.
Yeah, I'm going to give everybody a chance to join. It's funny because we're not out getting drunk, but a lot of people probably are. But some of you guys are joining us aren't, so shout out to you guys. Thank you for joining us on this Friday night. We're on the East Coast, a little bit past 2:30 a.m. And obviously we're going to be going back and forth with the chat box with you guys. So make sure if you have something to say, go ahead and say it. If you do really want us to mention something on the show, we will definitely mention your question or your comment. You shoot us over a super chat and we'll be happy to do just that. So without further ado, we're going to get into how to avoid the friend zone.
Yeah, so I wanted to kind of introduce this topic by saying I think as a man, it's important to understand that you and a woman can either be friends or you could be sexually involved.
Huge.
It's very unlikely that you are going to do both. And a lot of men, unfortunately, approach that way where you think, well, maybe we can start off as friends and she'll eventually see I'm a good guy and she'll find me attractive, or maybe we'll hook up. And that I would not count on that strategy. So I just wanted to start off with that.
Yeah, let's make it clear, folks, fellas out there especially. Once you're in the friend zone, it's literally, and I don't like to use that word because it's not a fan of it, but it's literally almost impossible to get out of the friend zone. So make sure you avoid the friend zone at all costs. So one way you can avoid the friend zone is by making sure that your intentions are clearly known. You're not going to show her that you're giving those friendly vibes that you want to be friends. You want to be that romantic partner to her. So if you're up front and pretty much pass on in a way that you want to be romantically involved with her and not be a friend to her, she'll pick up on that, and then you'll be able to figure out whether she's into it or whether she's not. So I think that's huge.
Women know within minutes of meeting you if they find you attractive or not. They don't need a lot of time to find out if they find you attractive or not. So as a man, if you don't make your intentions known right out the gate and you kind of play it safe, like, I don't want to offend her, I don't want to hit on her too soon, just let me play it safe and just kind of stick around and we'll see where this goes. That's not a good strategy because you're better off making your intentions known and getting shut down and knowing, okay, she's not interested in me, let me leave this alone and move on to someone else, and completely avoiding the possibility of becoming friends or wasting your time than just playing it safe and sticking around to wait till things go. So that's a huge one. Make your intentions known right out the gate.
Yeah, be upfront about what type of relationship you intend to have with that woman. If you start listening to her problems, being there for her all the time, kissing her ass, she's going to look at you as someone way below her. She's not going to see you as a confident person trying to find a way to get a relationship with her or more than that. And she's going to look at you as a friend. And getting into the friend zone, it's going to be literally impossible. Like I said before, it's going to be impossible to escape. Once you're there, you're there. So you might as well start off, if you eventually see this woman as a potential mate, as a girlfriend, maybe as crazy as some of you may decide to do is get married, which we don't recommend here on the podcast, guys. But if you see her as marriage material, then don't be showing the interest of a friend. Show that you want to really take it to the next level romantically with her.
See, one of the biggest differences between men and women is that as a man, you only really need to find her physically attractive to want to hook up with her. She just has to look good and have a nice body, and that's all you really need to consider her to be attractive. For women, it's not like that at all. They need to have an emotional connection to you first. They need to feel a connection. For men, it's not like that at all. We don't need to necessarily feel anything. So the reason why the friend zone is impossible to escape is because once a woman labels you as a friend and she kind of puts you in that box, that means that she might enjoy spending time with you. She might think you're a fun person, but she has no emotional connection to you. She doesn't find you sexually attractive. And the longer you remain friends, it's impossible to change that. She's not just going to wake up one day and go, oh, I think he's good looking. You know what? I think I'm going to sleep with him. The longer you remain friends, the less of a chance you have of ever hooking up.
That's the thing, that you become friends with her, her romantic interest for you faded, it's dried up, it's gone, and she's not going to look at you that way anymore. For you to be in that position and to get out of it is tough. You might as well, again, be early, show that interest, show that, hey, be romantic, escalate. Sometimes you have to do some physical touches. Obviously, don't get to the point where you're creeping her out. If she's accepting of that, then go further. Really flirty with her, being playful with her, that kind of thing. Don't send mixed signals, because if you send mixed signals, then she's going to be like, well, do I really like this guy? Do I really want to sleep with this guy? Do I want to be in an eventual relationship with this guy? Probably not. If you're sending her mixed signals, she's probably going to be on the friend side of things. So you really want to avoid sending mixed signals. Be clear and upfront about your intentions. That's the way to go. That's the best way to go.
Something we talk a lot about on our full length episodes when we have guests on is we get into this whole debate about, like, what should the first date be, right? And like a lot of men nowadays, they don't really want to spend a lot of money on that first date because we know where that ends up most of the time, right?
And they shouldn't.
Exactly.
They shouldn't.
Like, there's no reason why a man should spend $100, $200 on that first date to take her out to a dinner. You don't even know if she likes you like that yet. This is why it's so important to do something casual, something less expensive the first time, because the first time you meet, she's going to start hitting you with, like, where do you work? What do you do for a living? She's trying to gauge, like, where you are financially, but you should be trying to gauge, does she find you attractive?
Huge.
You need to figure that out within, like, that first date, because the more time you spend together, like, if you go on 3 dates, you met up already 2-3 times, and you haven't even hooked up yet, that's not a good sign. There's no reason to keep it going. Like, and again, as a guy, you shouldn't, I don't want to send the wrong message here. Like, you shouldn't be, aggravated or insulted because a woman doesn't find you attractive. as a man, you're going to take way more L's than W's in dating, especially nowadays. But as soon as you see like, okay, she doesn't seem like that, you should just move on. Don't invest any more time and money into her.
Of course. I think the first date, and we've talked about this before, if you guys watch our episodes, again, thanks for joining us tonight, little bit before 3. And you've seen the episodes, but if you haven't, subscribe to the channel. Again, if you guys just joining us want to say something as far as a comment that you want us to put up, mention on the show, feel free. We have comments coming in and out, so feel free to super chat something in if you really want to make something known. But of course, from time to time, we'll engage with you guys. One of the comments actually here say, hey, bro, keep posting and don't quit. Every big creator started small. Your next video could be the one that blows up. Stay consistent, keep improving, and trust the process. You've got this. Thank you. Thank you, the guy-unknown-S4Y. Appreciate that. We're definitely motivated. We're here to help you guys out. That's why we're up late, not going to sleep, not out getting drunk. We don't, do that sort of things like go out and get drunk. Of course, Rob likes to have his nice drink once in a while. So cheers to Rob. I'm not a drinker like that. I haven't drank in a while. So, we're here for you guys. We're here to help out. But definitely help us out. Just hit that subscribe button. And, again, if you want us to really mention something on the show, super chat it in. We're happy to bring it up. So, but we'll definitely be engaging with the chat. Obviously, keep it respectful. We're not going to deal with any nonsense comments. But for going back to it, for the first date, we always mention, and again, this is one of the reasons why we tell you guys to sub, because we mentioned on our previous episodes, I believe with some of the ladies on here, the first date, the best first date for a man is a walk in the park or going for a walk somewhere. It doesn't have to be a park, but go for a walk, something where you get to know her on a deeper level and an emotional level, and she gets to know you on a deeper level. That way you really connect with her and you really iron out what her intentions are. I think that's the best way to go.
I'm not a fan of restaurants on the first date for one specific reason, because you're sitting across from each other and it kind of forces you into this kind of interview style interaction.
100%.
It gets awkward really quick. Oh, what did you do for work? Oh, what's your favorite color? Like that type of conversation. And when you're sitting face to face, it's very, I don't know, it just feels like an interview. I'd rather go for a drink and sit next to the person than sit directly across from them and go back and forth.
Yeah, we mentioned that on the
Somebody
last.
said no expectations. Correct.
Of course, yeah, you can't have expectations, but you have to, as a man, start out by not spending too much money, and sometimes maybe spending zero money. That walk in the park, you really connect. You really get to know each other. You get to know about her. What are her intentions like? Are her intentions genuine? Are they fake? Is she trying to use you, or is she there to be real with you and really potentially take it to the next level? That's how you find out. I think that's the best route to take, because if you take her on that dinner date, if you take her out for something more expensive or luxurious than that, she's going to see you for your money, for your wallet. And that's probably some of the mistakes that guys are doing right at this moment. Friday night, going out, buying drinks for girls, spending money on dinner dates, and not going anywhere because she's just using him for those resources.
Women will always take the free attention, the free drinks, the free dinner. A lot of women nowadays like to go out to upscale rooftops and restaurants. So she'll go out with you, but that doesn't mean that she has any interest in you.
Of course. And we mentioned again, the dinner date obviously is going to happen, but wait it out a little bit. Don't start it on the first date. Second date, maybe grab a shake somewhere, some drink. Some of you guys like coffee, drink coffee. Now it's cold, up here in the Northeast, hot chocolate, maybe a tea, and then start taking it further and further and further. I think it's going to be a better, genuine connection because, again, and other podcasts have said it too. So, shout out to some of those guys out there. If you lead with your wallet, if you lead with your money, she's going to see you as a dollar sign.
And women aren't stupid. They know what you're trying to get out of it. Even if you try to play it safe and friendly, they know what you're trying to get out of it.
Of course. Absolutely. They know where you're going with it. And you as the man want to make sure that she's not going to take advantage of you. And if you see that she's not taking advantage of you and she's liking you, for the person that you are, that's a good start. Obviously, things change later on. You never know, obviously. But if she likes you for you and she doesn't like you for what you can provide to her, because that's what mostly women like nowadays is, what can he give me? What can I get from this guy? And again, that's the unfortunate thing to put on women. This is most women. This is not all women. So for you ladies out there that are showing hate, you can hate all you want. It is what it is. But we're speaking the truth here. I mean, men are liked and loved with the condition that they can provide something. We said this before. Other podcasts have said this before. Women, dogs, children, pets are loved unconditionally. Unconditionally. So it's better that if you want to get as close to an unconditional type of love, make sure you're getting involved with a woman who seems like she will give that to you. I think that's the best way to explain it.
I wanted to get into another bad move, a move that'll get you into the friend zone. When you start acting like a boyfriend before you have even hooked up with her, okay? Meaning you're already treating her like she's your girlfriend and you haven't hooked up, you haven't slept with her. You're texting her every day, you're taking her out, you're spending money on her. You're already playing that boyfriend role, and you don't even know if she finds you attractive yet. You already like sold yourself on this idea that you and her are going to be a thing. That is a very quick way to end up in the friend zone. Because women, number one, like if she doesn't find you attractive and she sees you acting that way, like I said earlier, she'll take the free dates and whatever else you're doing for her, buying her shit, spending money on her, sending her money, giving her free attention. But it's going to get to a point where she's going to be like, yo, what is this guy doing?
Of course.
You know what I'm saying? Like, like I said, women know, they're not stupid. They know what you want. They know you're not doing this just out of your good heart. Like they know you want to hook up with them. So, like I said before, you have to figure out very quick, does the woman find you attractive or not?
Of course. And if she doesn't, I don't think you should waste your time. I think the best way to go about it is let her know, hey, this is not how I predicted how things would go. Be respectful, don't curse her out. If it gets to a point where it doesn't work out and you're trying to get it to work out, don't get all mad at her. Don't get pissed at her. Just wish her the best, walk away. I think that if you're in the friend zone at that point, she may look at you differently. You might not be able to completely get out of the friend zone, but at least you showed her that, hey, I'm not going to be a simp. I'm not going to give you all these things. That's another thing. Don't be a simp, and we'll get into that in a bit. You're not going to sit here and give her all these things, and you're not going to get anything back in return. And we're not saying that you have to have a one-night stand on the first date or the first time you hang out. It's far from that. I mean, I think it's better if that happens because at least you guys know where you are in bed. If it's good in bed, then that's a plus. If you wait 3 months, 6 months, like women sometimes like to put some timelines on some things to then have sex and then find out it was shit. Maybe she wasn't great in bed or maybe he wasn't great in bed. Either way. But you found out that it didn't work because of that. You just wasted 6 months. You maybe wasted, 7, 8 months. Hopefully you don't wait a fucking year to sleep with one another. You know what I'm saying? So I think the best thing to do is if you're feeling like you're at that point where you're becoming her friend, try to back off as much as you can. Don't be there for her as much. Don't give her as much attention or try to, do something stupid where you're bringing her flowers and baking cookies and bringing her treats and whatnot. That shit doesn't work anymore.
No.
That shit doesn't work anymore. That's some nice guy garbage that probably used to work in the 60s, 70s, and maybe 80s, but 2025, shit is totally different. It don't work that way no more, folks. It don't work that way no more. And the ladies watching, well and good that it doesn't work. If you see a guy buying you flowers, you see a guy bringing you chocolates, you're going to be like, what the fuck is this shit? I want something more. So
something I hear women always say is like, they want a man that's going to invest into them, right? The idea, as a man, the idea that the more time and resources, energy you invest into a woman, like the higher your chances are of hooking up with her, is false. Women hook up with guys that do nothing for them. If a, if a woman they won't tell you this. They won't ever say this or post this on their Instagram. But this is the truth. When a woman finds a man attractive, she will hook up with him if he spent zero money on her. He put zero effort into her. So that's why, like you were saying, that old school way of like taking her out on dates, buying her flowers or whatnot, gifts and shit, sending her money, it's not going to do anything for you. She knows what you want, and she just doesn't want it back.
If she's attracted to you, she'll give it to you. Like, I've been there myself as an example. Maybe some people will think it's a lie or not. I don't care. Girl, first date, knew we were attracted to one another. We built that connection, and eventually led to a one-night stand. And all I did was buy her a fucking box of cookies, which, again, I don't recommend, but it's not like we went out anywhere. We didn't go out for a dinner. We actually walked around a little bit. I brought her a little something, which, again, I am being kind of hypocritical because I say don't, I said before, don't bring a box of cookies to a woman. Don't buy her flowers when you're early in the game, right? When you're early in dating her. But I didn't take her out or buy her shit besides, a $5-6 box of cookies, and boom, one night stand. It's the attraction. Did you build the attraction? Did you get her to that point where, she was willing to open up her legs to you? It worked out in that way, great. And then if you're building from, it's not just about sleeping with her, of course. If you're building to that point where you're getting to that relationship, then it's a win. And you didn't have to do much for it. But you built the attraction, and you're not her friend. You're a romantic partner. That's how you advance. You don't advance by sitting there kissing her ass, asking how her day is going and all that, extra bullshit. No, you show that interest from the get-go, from the beginning, from the first time you see her, from the first time a word comes out of your mouth to her. I think that's the best way to go about it.
Something that women try to pull sometimes is they'll tell you like, oh, I have a 90-day rule. And I remember specifically this one girl telling me that, this Polish girl I was hooking up with, she was like, oh, I wait 90 days. And that's just them trying to make it seem like they're a good girl and they normally don't do this. They're not like that. It's bullshit. That's just like a facade.
I think that's a shit test, if anything.
And it's a shit test, too.
Because are you going to wait 90 days because she wants you to wait 90 days?
90 days is crazy.
I think that's insane. I think making some stupid rules like that are really nuts, if you ask me.
Women don't wait 90 days. They might say that, like you said, as a shit test, or just to kind of like send the message that they're not a 304 or whatever. But no woman is actually going to make you wait 90 days if she finds you attractive.
Yeah, and looking here at a quick chat that popped out at me, Ava Targlass 9901. A lot of times it's a lot less about how much actual money you have and more about the drive and the ambition. I think women can tell you're the type of person who's going somewhere. Absolutely. If you have goals, if you have aspirations, if you're doing something for yourself. I mean, we tell guys all the time on the show, you got to get in the gym. You got to work on yourself. You got to make money. I know there's podcasts out there that do as well, but we reiterate it over and over and over again. Confidence, being relentless, being a leader, not being a follower, not being a simp, not being a pussy. Taking charge, grabbing the bull by the horn. And, that's how you get somewhere with women. If they see that drive, and they don't see it in the other guys around them, then you stick out.
Women generally like to talk about the future. I noticed that too. Yeah, like if you're on a date and like you're looking for a topic to talk about, they like to talk about the future. When she's asking you, like when she's trying to get to know you, she's trying to gauge like long term, like where's this guy's life going?
Of course. And women want to see a guy. Again, women want a guy with the future, and men don't want a woman with the past. Right. So if you see her going around like a whore, then how much confidence do you have that when maybe you can get her in a relationship, but if you get her into a relationship, how confident are you that you won't be the only man involved with her, right? I think that's something to keep in mind. That's why when women say, oh, don't judge me for my past, it's what happened before. I mean, number one, women never take accountability, so you can't expect anything from that. And then men want to make sure that, well, can I trust her? And it's hard to trust women nowadays. Obviously, there's things men do, of course. It's hard to trust them as well. We get it. We get there's both sides. So, again, we're not only beating up on the women here, but we're saying that, hey, women want to see that, hey, where is this guy going, right? What's this guy's next steps? Is this guy just focused on smoking, drinking, going out, partying, not working out, no goals, nothing for the future? That's part of protecting a woman. She wants to feel protected by a guy having a secure future because that makes her future feel secure as well. So I think that's we went off a little bit on that, but that's those are the things that we're trying to wake you guys and ladies up to as well. So I think another way to avoid the friend zone is definitely get into that romantic zone. So create those romantic opportunities. Plan those dates, as we were saying before. Walk in the park works for a first date. Coffee date, second time, third time, a dinner date. Don't make it so interviewy. As Rob said, make it where you got a vibe going. You're feeling each other, right? It's going well. And if you're not feeling each other, you should know that before you hit that third dinner date. That's when, okay, it's on to the next one. Don't waste time. You know, time is precious. You can't get time back. You know, as they say, time is money. You can't get that shit back. So it's important that you focus on that.
And this is why, to your point about like creating a vibe and a connection, like this is why it's important at some point to get the woman alone. Going out in groups is great for meeting people and socializing. You might meet her through a group, but if anytime you try to hang out, she's asking you like who else is coming or who else is going to be there.
That's the worst.
That should signal to you that she has no interest in you, because if a woman's interested in you, she's going to want to hang out one-on-one.
By yourself.
And at some point, you have to get her out one-on-one, whether you go out for dinner or you go out to do something. So if you ask a woman to hang out and then her reply is like, who else is going to be there? Who else is coming? Just
that's
cut it right there.
Block her, move on, or just ignore her, move on. You don't even have to block her. It is what it is. Just find a woman that's not going to say, well, who's coming? Who else is coming? You invite her out to a lounge, right, to have a drink, right? That's normal, fine. Not going ahead and saying go out and be an alcoholic, but dates, you go out to a club, you go out for a drink, it is what it is. But if she texts you back, well, who's going? Who's coming with us? Then forget her. It's over. Move on. It's ridiculous that you waste your time with that person. That's a message right there that she may not be secure with you one-on-one, or she may not be feeling you one-on-one. It's better to walk away. Sometimes it's better to run away, if anything. So, but plan those dates. Make sure it's a romantic, you're working yourself into a romantic zone and not the friend zone. That's the thing that you want to do. And if it keeps working out and the vibe is going strong, hey, keep it going. Keep the fire lit. Keep pushing forward. So, we see some of you guys on the chat, which is fine. Show us your women. Show us your marriage rings. Number one, we don't recommend marriage to nobody. Have you seen the stats? Have you seen that 50 to 60% of marriages end up in divorces or separations?
Marriages for suckers. Years ago, it wasn't the case, but now marriage is for suckers.
Marriage is for bums. I think marriage is for bums. You got the biggest simps married. And then you get married and then you don't get any. You think you get married, you're going to get something?
Men get married out of pressure. That's how it is nowadays. You date a girl and then you get the pressure from her. You don't want to lose her. The family starts putting pressure on you, or you start saying to yourself like, well, I'm getting older and my friends are married. It's all just pressure, and you cave in. You're not thinking logically at that point. Look how many people are getting screwed over. Even celebrities aren't lasting in marriage.
Of course.
Jeff Bezos got divorced. What's the episode we just did recently? The basketball player.
The basketball player.
His wife went on a podcast and started saying,
Oh, Steph Curry. Steph Curry. Yeah. Steph Curry.
These women are landing like 10 out of 10 guys that are rich, famous athletes, and they're still not happy. Marriage is a disaster.
Of course. And again, it's crazy how guys. I'm not surprised when the women criticize us.
Right.
But when the guys criticize us, I'm like, damn, we're trying to help you out here. We're trying to save you. And thanks to the guys that show that support. Like, hey, you've done something for us. It's nice to hear because it means that we're here doing something with meaning. We rather be out doing something fun Friday night versus doing this, but this is more meaningful. This brings us more purpose to help you guys. So it's crazy when guys make fun of it and they're like, oh, well, where's your wedding ring? Or where's your girl? How do you know we don't have women?
We have no interest in getting married. Like, go watch any of our episodes. We've been doing this for 2 years. We have no interest in getting married.
Exactly. So why do we care about a wedding ring? We've seen people get married. We've seen what happens.
Look up some of the stats around divorces and how men get screwed over financially.
100%. Guys,
the average marriage in the U.S. lasts about 8 years, and that's on the long end. 8 years is like the average. Most of them don't even get anywhere near that.
Don't even last that long. It's crazy.
And how many people are married and the wife doesn't sleep with the husband anymore, talks down to him. They're not even attracted to each other anymore. Yeah. They're just together. Like, I respect the fact that some people stay together for the purpose of the kids and raising the kids. That's respectable. But like, it's marriage doesn't work out long term for a lot of people. It just doesn't. We live in different times.
And women know the benefits because it's 80 to 90% of them filing for divorce. They want the divorce. It's very rare when men want the divorce, but obviously there's got to be something very shitty happening within that relationship for men to be the ones to bring the papers to the table and want that divorce.
We brought this up on our last live. How ironic is it that it's women that want marriage? Men don't give a shit about marriage. No, I don't. Right. I've never met a man that's like, man, like, I can't wait to get married. Women want marriage. They coax men into doing it, right?
Yeah.
Yet women are 70% of them are initiating these divorces. So how does that work? You wanted the husband, you wanted the ring, you wanted the wedding, everything that comes along with it, and now you end it over some bullshit. Mm-hmm. I understand some people get divorced over valid reasons, abuse, the husband's an alcoholic, he lost his job, whatever the case, right? But that's not really the case most of the time. Most of the time, these women just get bored. They stop sleeping with the husband, and they just want to go back to being single.
100%. And yeah, just like
somebody said, marriage is the beginning of the end.
That's what I was going to say. John Dowd. Yep, marriage is just the beginning of the end. I mean, it's one of those things where hopefully we can wake men up. There might be men out there that are married that they're mad at us because we're calling them out on what's going on, but it is what's going on. And we hate to see guys go through it, years, dedicating years to a woman. He spent all this money on her, gave her the house, gave her the kids, gave her the ring, gave her the wedding. And all she wanted to be was a bride, not a wife, right? She didn't want to be. She's okay with being the mother. She didn't want to be the wife. She's not there for him.
That's what weddings are about now. They just want the nice venue pictures, videos. They want to post it, the honeymoon, and it's all about posting, where the wedding was. And, that lasts a couple months. And then the real marriage begins.
Of course. So that's why I'm saying, like, obviously you guys can make fun of us all you want. We don't care. But if there's a guy or two out there that we can save, that we can, hopefully we can open up some eyes. I know it's late at night, so some people are probably knocked out or drunk or something. But if we can actually save somebody out there and prevent them from making probably one of the worst decisions in their lives, probably save, 5, 10, 20, 25 years of hell, then we're happy to do that. We're happy to take the heat and be made fun of. It's cool.
You don't need to get married to have kids and start a family. I don't know where that idea was sold to people that, like, it's the standard where you have to get married to have kids and start a family. There's like very little benefits to, like, yeah, you get tax write-offs. Wow, big deal. You get tax write-offs for filing jointly. But if you get divorced, she's going to take half your shit, half your money, whatever assets you own, whatever investments you own.
Right.
It makes no sense. There's zero benefit for a man to getting married. Exactly. Aside from that societal expectation that this is just the right thing to do.
Exactly. But going off back to what we were talking about and going off of the rant that we just went on there about marriage, which we'll bring up again, of course. That's a never-ending saga, marriage. But making sure, again, creating those romantic opportunities, making sure you flirt with her, right? Playful banter, really kind of poking at her. You know, sometimes she may say, "Oh, does this picture show me that I'm fat?" And meanwhile, you can say, "Oh, well, you might want to hit the gym," and she gets offended. You know, it's one of those things where, "Oh, I'm just joking, just fucking with you." That way, she doesn't see you as like, "Oh, he's kissing my ass," right?
Correct.
He's confident, and so maybe she does have to hit the gym. Maybe she is a little bit overweight, right? So you're telling the truth. They like that.
Women generally do like cocky, funny, arrogant guys. That should be pretty obvious at this point.
Somebody said here, and Genel dash Q1K, I want marriage. Okay, why do you want marriage? We'll go back to the marriage thing for a few more minutes. Why do you want marriage? Because we know why women want marriage. We know.
I think for women, the marriage makes it real for them, but that's just a facade. The marriage in itself doesn't mean anything. If you have a real, genuine connection with a person, that's going to show in how they treat you in the life you guys both live together. The marriage is just on paper.
Exactly. Why do you ladies want marriage? Because it looks like we have some ladies in the chat.
You don't know you're not a woman. I don't know. I'm just going based off of what I've seen and what I've heard. It seems like for women, if a woman dates a man for 5 years and he doesn't propose to her, she sees that as like, oh, you know, he doesn't see me as his future wife. He's not proposing to me. Not necessarily. A lot of guys are hesitant to get married for multiple reasons.
Okay, there's a lady, the rebel lady
Doesn't
says,
mean that
I
he
don't
doesn't-
want it. Okay, so some ladies don't want marriage.
Yeah, I'm seeing a trend.
But-
That's another thing. I'm seeing a trend of a lot of women saying they don't want marriage either. There's a lot of women that are saying they don't want marriage or kids.
I just wonder why there's women that really want marriage. Why can't they love a guy or really care about a guy in a long relationship where you truly unconditionally care about one another? Why do you have to get married to do it?
For women, I think it's the marriage is what locks it in and makes it real for them. It's like women have this fantasy in their head that they're trying to play out. They have it all written in their mind. It's just a part of their fantasy. For men, the marriage itself doesn't do anything for us. It just creates more risk.
It doesn't. Absolutely. It just makes
If I date a woman for a certain amount of years and we have kids and we go our separate ways, it is what it is. But the marriage makes a big difference legally. It's a big difference because now she's going to take you to court. And like an argument I hear from women a lot is like, oh, why are you worried about gold diggers and divorce? You don't have money like that. It doesn't matter. Average guys get hit harder financially than rich guys. If Jeff Bezos gets divorced, he's still a millionaire. If a guy that makes $50K a year gets divorced and he has to pay child support and send her half his paycheck every 2 weeks, he's going to be screwed for the next 18 years.
Listen, marriage is a scam. I'm just going to say it flat out. It's a fucking scam. It's a fucking scam. But the thing is that guys are falling for it. Guys are left with no choice but to propose marriage to a woman because she may let him know that, well, I'm going to leave you if you don't put a ring on that finger. So let her leave. If she doesn't want to be with you, it says it right there. It's right there. She's saying it straight up. Let her go. Let her go. You know, that's the thing. Okay, I will read the super chat, even though it's a negative one. But nope. This ain't it. You guys suck. Well, listen, there's a lot of guys that say they regret getting married. They say marriage is a trap, right? So we're here saying that marriage is a scam, right? Why is it not a scam? Why is it marriage good? Why is marriage good? Why, if marriage is so great, why are there 50 to 60% of divorces or separations? Why do guys lose most of their shit when they get married? You know, not to prolong this marriage topic because we're not talking about marriage tonight. We're talking about how to avoid the friend zone. But grifters, scammers, bums in the lake. Okay. RKR leg 8. I don't get it. I don't get it. Marriage is a scam. I wish we had, we'll get merch in the future. But I wish we had a shirt right now that said marriage is a scam, because I think people need to wake up. I think guys need to wake up and save themselves from themselves, right? We're trying to save you from yourselves. Some of you guys are like, no, 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 marriage is the greatest thing ever. Try it out. Get married. But don't complain 5, 10, 15, 20 years down the line that you regret doing it after you get divorced. And we don't wish that on anybody. We're not here wishing relationships to fail. We don't wish divorces, to come about. And we tell the ladies, we love the ladies. We love you women, right? We like ladies. We want to help you out. But the way you act towards men is not helping them out, right? Getting married and then divorcing, taking half their shit. You have kids, and there goes the house with the kids. It's ridiculous. Oh, we like that. Save yourself from shitty decisions like this pod. We like that. That's a good one. RKR, leg 8. Appreciate it.
Keep the hate coming. It drives the algorithm. Look,
appreciate it.
I just want to throw this out there, right?
Go for it.
Since we're on the topic of marriage, right? I almost got coaxed into proposing to 2 of my exes when I was in my 20s. Okay? Every single one of my exes, except the one, they're all single moms. One of them has 3 kids. She's a single mom. The other one's a single mom. She ended up getting married to some guy, some cop that ended up being a fucking drug addict. It's a fucking disaster. These women, a lot of the times, think that they're going to get somebody better, that they're going to move up, because women are hypergamous. I think most men understand that, right? Whenever a woman dates a guy, next time she's going to aim for somebody slightly better than you. And a lot of the times, that doesn't play out that way. And as they get old, go ahead.
RKR, leg 8. We're not reading your comments anymore, so you can keep super chatting, but we're not reading the hate. Keep going. You were saying?
No, I was just saying there were 2 specific times when I was in my earlier 20s. I didn't really know any better, and I was emotionally connected to the girl, and I thought maybe it's a good idea that I proposed to her to take the relationship further. And like I was telling you guys before, a lot of the times when men get married, it's out of that pressure. Like, you don't want to lose the girl, so you're thinking to yourself, like, shit, maybe if I propose to her, that'll lock her in. Another one that I see is some men think that if they give the girl a kid, that'll lock her in. That's also false. One of my friends ended up taking that route. He told me afterwards, he's like, I thought once we have a kid, it's gonna, we're gonna stay together, and they broke up immediately afterwards.
100%. It's just
because the reality, the stress of life kicks in. The financial stress of, like, now you're responsible for another human being, paying the bills, you have more expenses, and then the relationship starts to crumble in the process because you're stressed out.
See, the thing is that we never wanted to say no to marriage, right? We never wanted to say no to marriage. I mean, RKR, leg 8, you can keep the comments coming in, but
thank you for the super chat.
Thanks for the super chat, but
we'll take it.
We'll take it, I guess. But yeah, we're not going to read any negative comments. So we always wanted marriage. It wasn't always like that.
Yeah, I was gonna say, if you ask me how I feel about marriage, I'm 39 now. If you ask me how I felt about marriage when I was 25, when I was naive and I didn't really have enough experience to see how the world operates, I would have told you, yeah, I'll probably get married by 30. I'll probably have a couple kids by 30, 33. And as I've gotten older and I've seen other people get married, and like you just read about other people's marriages and like how this all plays out, the proof is all out there. Like, this is not a safe bet.
Right.
There's some stats that support that, like, people that are in the upper middle class, they tend to have stronger marriages, which makes sense because if both the man and woman are making 6 figures, yeah, that's going to make the relationship less stressful and you're going to be more financially secure. But most people aren't in that boat. So
there was always belief that with marriage, everything was going to work out, right? You propose, you get married, it's happily ever after, right? But why for 60% of couples out there, it's not happily ever after? Why does it end up ending, right? So that's one of those things where we've awoken up to it. We're awake to that, right? Why do these marriages fry up, right? And we're like, well, we don't want to go through that. All our sacrifice, all our hard work throughout the years, all the shit that we've done to accomplish what we've accomplished, and then to lose that. it's unreal when it comes to getting married and then losing it all, right? You lost half your shit to a woman that you were, hey, maybe you were married to her for 20 years, but maybe you were married to her for 6 months or a year. Imagine that, right? And you lose all that. It's just crazy. That's just freaking insane. So we try to help. Obviously, some people, it works for some people. Great. We wish it worked. We wish it was 100% foolproof, but it's just not. And that's why, obviously, we take the heat. We've taken the heat in the past. We're taking the heat tonight, which is fine. And yeah, it is what it is. So
Marriage tends to work out for people that come from strict religious families where they're getting married because it's a part of their religion. Yes, I could see that working. If you're that religious where the woman you're marrying, the woman that's marrying you is not going to divorce you because the whole family would shun you for it. You know what I mean? Those type of scenarios, yeah, I could see that working out. But most people nowadays aren't that. Let's just be real. They're not that
they're not.
religious where they're going to care about breaking any religious rules or what the family's going to have to say. So
I think marriage would be great if it was 100% foolproof. If it was no divorces, and if you fought and you worked it out, you didn't get divorced, beautiful. But it just so happens that it doesn't work that way, and it's a lose situation for men. Okay, RKRLG8. You only try TRT to help when you only benefit. Okay. Hairline's getting heated. He's seething. Okay. I mean, keep them coming, man. Man or woman. I'm not sure. Who that is, but shout out to Uncle Barry Kushiner.
somebody said it's not always easy. You have to put in the work.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I hear from a lot of married couples, that it's a lot of work. The problem is people are not willing to put in the work and make things work. They just give up.
100%. So
And like going back to your stat before, it's not men that are backing out of marriage. I just want to make that point. Men are buying the ring. It's usually, I think it's usually like the wife's husband that pays for the wedding. Then the man's going to pay for the honeymoon. You're going to end up buying a house, all this stuff. And then the woman's going to back out because you guys had an argument, or
Of course.
she's not happy with the way things are going, or you guys lost that emotional connection. That's how it plays out a lot of the time. It's either marriages fall apart either for financial reasons or infidelity or cheating.
absolutely. Brian F.7483. It's not always easy. You have to put in the work. Yeah, that's true. You do have to put in the work, but again, is she putting in the work as well? Right? Is she coming back and making sure that things are held tight? Is she taking accountability when things go wrong, or is she just blaming you for it? Those are the things that guys are realizing too late. We hope you realize early, but if you're realizing too late, it's on you. Don't definitely, and I'm sure you won't, but definitely don't come crying to us, letting us know, oh, well, you told me, I didn't want to listen to you because you guys are stupid or whatever. Well, it's on you. It's on you. So, but going back to this, how to avoid the friend zone, being emotionally available, even though women are like, oh, well, where is his emotional intelligence? Right? Sometimes you're like, well, who gives a damn about emotional intelligence? But being emotionally available, sharing some stories with her, and being an active listener, that helps. But don't be there as a shoulder to cry on, right? Don't be there to just have her like you're that friend that is comforting her.
The emotional intelligence thing is hilarious because it's probably the most common thing you hear women talk about nowadays. And every time we brought a woman on, we always ask them, like, what do you look for in men? And it's like, what are the most important traits for a man to have? And they all tend to bring up emotional intelligence. Women say one thing and do another. When you hear women complain about their exes, what do they usually say? My ex was a narcissist. My ex mistreated me. He was arrogant. He was a scumbag. So the way I interpret that is, well, at some point you were screwing this guy. This is who you were dating. This is who you chose. So if she has a history of dating those type of guys, that's what she's really sexually attracted to.
Of course. Of
If
course.
think about it, if all you hear her say is like, "Oh, all my exes were narcissists, they were all scumbags," and that means that that's who you were attracted to. That's really who you're into.
Yeah, and she wasn't attracted to the nice guy.
The emotional intelligence thing, I think, women, a lot of these women don't want to admit it, but I know a lot of them are going to therapy and they sit down with a therapist and talk about this stuff. And that's why you'll hear a lot of women talk about like, I'm in my healing era. We were just talking about this the other day.
Yeah.
You don't think it's weird that it's mostly American women that are in this healing journey all of a sudden? Like, oh, I'm healing, I'm spiritually connected all of a sudden. Like, I don't see any women in Colombia talking like that. I don't see European women talking like that. Asian women don't talk like that. I think American women, I don't know what happened over the past like 5 to 10 years, but a lot of them are in therapy.
Therapy is another scam.
What are you healing from?
I mean, therapy is a way for women to not take accountability for their actions, right? They're there to talk their talk and to be heard out, but for them to feel better about themselves when they walk out. I mean, that's what therapy is. You want to feel good about yourself when you walk out. You want to feel like, well, these are the problems that I have. I did the best I could to work it out, but you didn't, right? You didn't work it out. But you're going to have a therapist tell you all these lies, all these things. You're going to walk out feeling happy-go-lucky. You're going to feel a little bit better. You're going to come back maybe for a third, fourth, fifth time till it really sinks in. And then it's like, well, did they really help, right? Not really, because it didn't change her actions. Her actions aren't going to change. That's just there to support her actions and the way she acted in that relationship.
Look, I understand some people do need therapy, and if you have like severe mental problems or like, you're recovering from a drug addiction or something like that, like there's valid reasons to go to therapy. But I just noticed this trend where so many women claim to be on their healing journey, or a lot of women suddenly turned religious all of a sudden. We know some girls from Jersey that were like, they were all over the place at one point. All of a sudden they're posting churches and like Bible quotes. I don't know.
Well, because some women need God, right? Some women go to church because they need God.
I remember reading this somewhere where it's like a hoe's final form is a religious woman, and nothing against religion or anything like that, but I think that's true. I think when a woman suddenly becomes religious, that's just a sign that she had a disgusting past, and maybe she finally woke up to it and now is turning a new leaf.
Of course. Okay, tell me why therapy is not a scam. It's Des 123 talking shit in the chat. Why is therapy not a scam? You're going in there to hear someone give you some advice, and you talk out where you're going to talk out to them. And they're going to be there saying, yeah, I support you and this and that.
I've never been to therapy, but I'm going to safely assume 99% of the time what these therapists do is they just listen to these people and just tell them what they want to hear to make them feel better. That's probably what's happening. They're not really helping you heal or fix your problems. They're just there to hear you out and just reiterate it back to you so you feel good. It's like they're just a shoulder to cry on, so to speak.
They're stealing your money to make you emotionally feel better about yourself. Did they really fix anything? Maybe if they held you accountable, they would fix something, right?
Correct.
But then they're afraid to lose their customers, so I don't think they would want to do that.
If these therapists told these girls what they needed to hear, like, so you knew he was in jail, why were you dating him? The neck tattoo didn't give it away that he wasn't a good guy. But see, that's the thing.
Yes. Obviously, yes. Someone should always have someone to talk to. To have support, without a doubt. We're not saying don't get support that you need, get the help that you need. A fucking course, absolutely.
No, mental health is a big issue in the U.S.
It's a huge issue.
I understand that completely. Yeah.
Absolutely, but you think a therapist is going to perform magic and be a cure-all for you? Maybe talk to someone that's close to you, maybe a best friend, right? If it's about a girl, go talk to your boys and see what you can get from them. But
yeah, we're not saying that people with serious issues shouldn't go to a therapist. I'm just saying that a majority of these people that are like healing and they don't have real problems. You could tell when something's off with them mentally. When somebody mentioned Billie Eilish has Tourette's. Like I could see somebody like Billie Eilish going to a therapist, but most people don't need therapy. Let's be real.
100%.
Look how many poor countries there are where people can't afford to even go to a doctor, never mind a therapist, and they're happier than we are in the U.S. I think there's something weird going on in the U.S. We have it too good. I think in the internet and um, people are trying to live up to an unrealistic standard that's maybe making them unhappy. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
And then you throw in the economy and everything, and people are just like giving up hope, and that's where it starts. But you don't need a therapist for that. Physical activity, the gym, getting outside more.
Yeah, I mean, there's no reason we don't want anybody to give up hope on anything. We want you to keep pushing forward and doing the best you can, both men and women. With relationships, we want to bridge the gap between men and women. Obviously, again, the women are going to spread hate to us, fine, whatever, but we're used to it. We don't care. But it's odd. It's odd that the men don't take this more seriously, right? You're expected to perform as a man, right? You're expected to be that leader. You're expected to stay on your game day in and day out. And if not, and you fall off track, a lot of times nobody's going to be there to catch you. You have to put yourself back on track.
Somebody asked a question that just disappeared. How do I stop putting so much focus and imagining relationships with women? I would suggest you forget women altogether and make yourself a priority and get your ass in the gym. Focus on yourself first. Forget relationships, women dating. Unfollow all the models and the OnlyFans or whatever else you're following because it's creating a fantasy in your head. You need to focus on yourself. Like, no, I don't know where you work or what you're doing with yourself, but like focus on your finances first and foremost. Gym second. Build a social circle with people that are successful, and that's going to build you up by default. You're the result of the what's the saying? You're the result of the other four people in the room. So
yep, other 4 or 5 people
around you.
If you're around 4 or 5 millionaires,
you don't have to go to the gym.
Become the 6th.
Yeah, when I say go to the gym, I mean work out. You don't have to physically go to a gym. You can work out in your house if that works for you. I like going to the gym. I like that environment. Like we were in the gym a few hours ago, and just like being in that environment, it motivates me.
It's great.
Yeah, it was great. During COVID, we were stuck like working out in the house, and I didn't like it because it's not the same energy. The gym has a certain energy to it. I like being.
Of course, you see everybody working out, and shout out to the guys. A lot of the younger guys in the gym. I mean, they may not be just taking our advice. Hopefully you are, but I'm sure there's a lot of podcasts out there that are saying get in the gym, get your workout in, be on your game. And there's a lot of guys, shout out to the guys out there because they're really putting in the work.
We were just talking about mental health. Go for a run, go lift some weights for an hour and watch what that does for your mental health.
Huge.
You'll be surprised. Forget about like, you may not care about putting on muscle or like that whole shit. Fine. Go out, go to the gym, go for a run, put some music on, and just do that for an hour and let me know how you feel afterwards.
Run a couple miles.
It's a natural.
I love running.
Endorphins. Yeah.
It's one of those things where, hey, get the juices flowing, get the blood flowing. Make sure you do your stretches before and after. I think it's all great. I think that's more therapeutic than actual, therapy, going to a therapist, if anything. If it works, again, if it works for you, it works for you, do it. But not something that we do. Not something that we need to do when we're going through an issue. If we need something, we'll talk it out. We can talk it out with one another. We have other people that we can talk it out with.
Somebody said I'm going to marry a Muslim woman. It's probably a good idea. Muslim people take their religion very, very seriously, and they're very devoted to it. And it's very unlikely a Muslim woman is going to cheat on you or give you a hard time.
Hard time, yeah.
So
100%.
Are the best, honestly. Yeah, that's true.
But yeah, it's just one of those things. Again, if you need it, do it. But for us, it's not one of those things where, you need to go talk to somebody. If you got to go talk to somebody for yourself, do it. If it works for you, great. But I think there's other things that are better out there that people could do, But we were specifically talking with regards to accountability, right? If I feel like with therapy, women escape accountability, right? Because they put their problems to a therapist and they support them.
Women do escape accountability. Right? I'll give you a good example. When's the last time you heard a woman say, me and my boyfriend broke up, and the reason we broke up is because I did ABC.
Right.
I've never heard that in my life. Me and my boyfriend recently broke up because I was acting like a bitch. I was giving him a hard time. We broke up because I cheated on him. You'll never hear that. They always throw it onto the guy.
On
he didn't
somebody
treat
else.
Me right. He was on some bullshit. He cheated. He was a narcissist. I think the narcissist thing is just pure like coping. It's impossible that your last 5 ex-boyfriends were narcissists. And if they were, then you like narcissists. That's just what turns you on.
Of course. And going back to, again, we're going back to the how to avoid being in the friend zone. Don't be afraid to lose her, right? Go for it. See what can happen. And if it works out, it works out. If it doesn't, well, you didn't lose what you never had, right? So you move on to somebody else. You keep moving until you find somebody that you're able to lock in with. But you have to be confident, and you have to. It's a game at the end of the day, and you can't be afraid to lose the game. It's a win. Anything you do, it's a win or lose, right? If you make a mistake, you make a mistake. You move on.
Somebody said, "Sounds like you're talking to the wrong kind of women." In my opinion, there's no such thing as the wrong or the right type of women. Women are just women. Yeah. Universally, it doesn't matter whether you go to U.S. or another country. Women are just women. There's no good ones or bad ones or right or wrong ones.
Yeah, exactly.
That's something I learned over the years. If you're hoping that you're going to meet like the right woman, good luck with that.
No, there's no right woman. Good luck. No. Good freaking luck with that. There is no right woman. Sometimes you think she's the most wonderful person in the world. You marry her. You guys get married. Those of you that decide to do that. And then it's a 180. And it doesn't work out for one reason or another. That's why we say, hey, you're better off not even doing it and having your peace, right? I think, and that's what really the men that understand it and that are waking up to it are walking towards more of a peaceful life by avoiding marriage and by avoiding the women that are coaxing them into marriage, that are trying to influence them to do something they don't want to do.
They're not all the same. We're not saying that all women are the same.
Of course not.
But this like kind of idea like, oh, I met the right one. Even if you meet the right one, right? Everything that we're talking about is still going to apply because female nature is female nature. It's not like you're going to meet a woman that doesn't care about finances and doesn't have the internal wiring of every other woman. So that's the part you have to understand. We're not saying all women are the same, obviously. A lot of people got blocked today.
What do we have? A lot of trolls or a lot of bots in the chat?
Every time we go live.
Damn. Every time. People hating.
It's very generalizing about women. Yeah, I mean, the whole world is general, right? Like when you talk about a topic, like we're not going to sit here and talk about a specific woman or a specific scenario because it's not going to apply to most people. Like we have to generalize. We have no choice. Would you date a coworker? Oh, since you asked that question, never again. I did hook up with a coworker, and I almost lost my job because of it. We went out one night. We had some argument. I forgot what happened. I woke up to a call from my district manager saying that so and so called me, and this. And I almost lost my job. I would not recommend hooking up with coworkers. I understand why it happens because you're around each other all the time, and like sooner or later a hookup might happen. It's not worth losing your job over.
Don't shit where you eat.
Don't shit where you eat. That was a lesson I learned.
Sometimes
if you or her leave the job, yes. But as you're working in the same place, I wouldn't recommend it.
Yeah, you get convinced. Sometimes it's tempting to do it, but definitely I would avoid it. Kind of went off topic with
No,
Some
this
people-
usually happens. We usually start on one topic
Some
and then
people
go
in the
off on
chat.
some tangents. But we appreciate to the people that are actually like writing back and staying on topic with us and asking questions. We appreciate it. All the trolls are getting blocked. You guys have any other questions or anything else you want to bring up? I've been with a woman.
I've been with a woman who were uninterested in money, and we split because I was more possession oriented than them. That's interesting. Yeah, usually it's the women that are really kind of the ones that are the possession. They want possessions, they want things, they want resources. And I think the most valuable thing that men lose with women is time. I mean, time is one of the most valuable things, and you can't get it back. Right? You can get as much money as you can back if you go out there and you work hard and you put, some people get lucky with that. But
Like this idea that all or most women are gold diggers isn't true. I know that's not true. Women that specifically are only interested in a man's finances, those are gold diggers. Women that approach dating and with the intent of benefiting financially and just milking the guy for every dollar's worth, those are gold diggers. Most women aren't gold diggers. That's not always true. Men and women are both offenders. I don't know specifically what you were referring to when you say they're both offenders. You guys don't seem to be.
You guys are funny.
We used to watch a lot of Fresh and Fit when they first started. Funny thing is we saw Fresh twice when we were in Miami and Brickell. We saw Fresh walk right past us.
We realized that afterwards
with his dog. Yeah.
That's funny.
They're in what, the SLS Lux now?
I think. I don't know. Somewhere down there in Brickell, that has to be. Because I think we saw him there twice. Down there twice. What's your podcast about? Well, we talk about dating, right? Helping men with dating. We're going to get into the money aspect and the fitness aspect more in the future, but it seems like we're bridging more and more the gap between men and women too. So we are trying to help the ladies as much as the ladies, believe it or not. We have ladies come on. We're having more ladies come on the show in the near future. And, we'll have conversations with them and we'll try to be very respectful to them as much as we can. But obviously we'll challenge their points. They'll challenge ours. We'll go back and forth. And that's pretty much what we'll do. And bring the ladies on that really have some experience, that maybe have been through a divorce. Maybe they've been married. We actually have. It's funny that we talked about marriage and divorce again, which it seems like we can't avoid the topic. But one of the ladies that is coming on, she got divorced, and she'll explain it too. We should have her. I believe we'll have her here sometime next week, about a week or two from now, and she went through a divorce, and she's actually the one that's losing out more than the guy. So we'll let her get into that more, and we'll definitely debate that. But it's not always guys that lose out. So ladies, we know that there's an exception. Obviously, the exception doesn't make the rule. It's not, the majority of ladies losing out in marriages and divorces. It's mostly men. But yes, once in a while, if you make more than the guy, then likely you're the one to lose more. Hopefully no political stuff. I'm tired. No, we don't talk about politics. We're actually trying to avoid that.
YouTube will ban you over, you guys probably know this already. YouTube will ban you over anything. So we try to avoid certain topics just for that reason. That's the reason we have a Rumble, because I think it's just a matter of time before sooner or later we're going to say something's going to happen where we're going to get banned, and we'll just jump to Rumble. But for now, things have been going pretty smooth.
I think dating is a touchy subject. As all the comments that came in tonight, it seems like it's touchy enough to get into politics and anything else. It seems like
somebody asked, why do we talk about relationship? I mean, I think this is probably one of the most important things, aside from finances, for relationships are going to be the second most important thing to most people. So that's why we talk about it.
I think it would have been great to have something with regards to relationships and dating aspect to learn that in school, but unfortunately they don't teach you that in school, right? So you end up running into guys like us who give you our advice to you based on our experiences, what we know, what we've studied, and what we understand.
Somebody said
we've seen.
you love the podcast with Sar. He's definitely coming back on soon. We were just going. We were just texting him the other day. We're scheduling a new episode with him, so he'll be on soon. We'll have him on again.
Yeah, we'll have him back. We're actually going to eventually talk about the Akash situation. So as you guys know, there's this whole thing with Akash and his wife, and she's basically making him out to be, unfortunately, a loser. And we're going to get into that. So that's one of those episodes that we planned on talking with Czar about, and probably we'll probably talk about it ourselves. We'll probably do an episode on it as well. But there's been a lot going on that. They tried to save face on it really lately, but I think they're just making it worse. I think
the whole Akash thing is just a prime example of how, like, I see a lot of men just in the comments saying, like, all you need is money. All you need is money. If you have money, yeah, money will get you women. It will get you through the door, but it's not going to solve your dating problems. I would say the guys that get screwed over the most are guys with money, because they have the biggest target on their back to get played.
100%.
Look how many athletes and just in general, like, celebrities. And you know what? I think a lot of these people are so into their career that they didn't really have the dating experience that you would think they have. And then they reach a certain level of success, and then now women are just throwing themselves at them. They choose one of them, and they get screwed over. That's how it plays out nine times out of 10.
Yeah, if the successful men can't escape it, right? Can't escape the issues that women bring to them, then what does that tell you? That it can happen to anybody.
I heard that. I think it was like the NFL, like that coaches literally tell the players, like, when you sleep with these women, wear a condom because you are gonna get screwed over. They're not just screwing you for their own enjoyment. They want to get something out of it. Like, coaches tell the players that.
But going back again to this, because we went off topic a few times.
Yeah.
But again, we want to engage with you guys. We don't want to leave you hanging. So I feel like if we just talk about the topic and we don't engage with you in a little bit, then you're not going to feel like you're part of it. But we do want everybody to feel part of it, feel like they're part of it. So make sure you do subscribe to the channel. We appreciate all the support. We appreciate all the haters. You know, that gets us riled up a little bit. So, follow along, because we're kind of just starting. We've been in it for a little bit, but we kind of feel like we're just starting. We're just scratching the surface. There's a lot out there to talk about. But yeah, definitely when it comes to how to avoid the friend zone, don't be afraid to lose her. Don't feel like you're not confident. Don't feel like you're unsure. Don't go about things in a passive way, because she's going to be like, well, I can pretty much step all over this guy and do what I want.
Somebody asked, are you in Jersey? Yeah, we're actually in North Jersey, born and raised in Jersey. Yeah, I mean, to kind of summarize the whole how to avoid the friend zone thing, I think it comes down to a couple of simple things. If a woman is not interested in you, she's not going to sleep with you within the first 3-4 times you meet up.
100%.
If it's been like the 10th time, 15th time you guys hung out and you haven't hooked up, she's not interested in you.
Right.
And I think it takes a hit on our ego sometimes as guys, because we think to ourselves, like, well, she's spending time with me. She's texting me. She liked my comment, so she might like me. Women sleep with men that they're attracted to. That's what it really comes down to. So if you want to avoid the friend zone, sometimes you just got to be real with yourself. Like, this girl doesn't see me like that. It is what it is. Don't get offended. There's no reason to write her some paragraphs and shit like that, because sometimes I think as guys we get pissed off. I've done it before, where you rip a woman like through a text because something happened. If she's not into you, she's not into you.
And another way to avoid the friend zone is keep doing what you're doing. Be you, right? Live your life. One thing you don't want to do is you don't want to be just orbiting her, right?
Mm-hmm.
You don't want to be around her, trying to just hang out with her all the time. She's going to sniff that out and be like, oh, this guy just wants to always be around me, wants to kiss my ass. What do you say to guys out there that just want to hang around women to try to win them over?
If you have to hang out with her, if you're in the friend zone with a woman, right? I'll tell you how you could one up it. And I've had this happen. You know exactly who I'm talking about.
Yep.
I got friend zoned by a girl straight up that I was attracted to. I ended up banging one of her friends. We went out for hookah. We went out for drinks. And she told me, she goes, yo, she likes you. She's not looking for a relationship, yada, yada, yada. And we had a no strings attached. We hooked up like 2 or 3 separate times. She came to my house. I didn't take her on any dates. I spent no money on her. Was she the best looking? No. She was a little bit chubby, but I got a free bang out of it.
Hey, that's a win.
So if you do get friend zoned and you have to absolutely for whatever reason you want to continue hanging out with her, see if you could bang one of her friends.
Why not, right? Why not? I mean, sometimes that's the way.
Jersey, baby. Hell yeah. Let's go.
Hell yeah. Jersey all the way. But yeah, I mean, you just have to pretty much live your life, right? Do what you're doing. If you have some great job that you're working, you're making a lot of money, keep doing that. If you're enjoying it, just enjoying the job, not even for the money, but just enjoying it because it's one of those things that you really love, keep doing it. Sadly, a lot of people don't like where they work nowadays. I don't blame you. But that's where you have to work hard to get out of that 9-to-5 gig and get into something where you're doing something for yourself. You know, like some people look at us and like, oh, you guys need to get day jobs. Or we
get that bullshit all the time. We work regular jobs. We do this in our free time.
We have other shit going on. It's not just this. So
somebody was like, oh, it must be nice having parents that pay for we don't have parents that are paying for shit.
Not even close.
We bought all this shit ourselves. No. There's no parents payment.
We've invested thousands into the studio. Believe
when
it or not.
When people troll, sometimes they're reaching.
Well, they can all they want, but definitely you have to just keep doing you and get some hobbies, right? Do things that you enjoy doing. Go to places that you enjoy going to, and she'll see that and she'll be like, "Oh, this he's got something going for himself." And I think that's very important for women to see it. Oh, this guy's not just trying to be there just to be there for me, but he's really got shit going on. And that's something to be, she might look up to you for that. What do you think?
Just reading through some of the comments.
Reading some of the comments. We're reading some of your comments, guys, but definitely if you want us to really mention something, definitely we'd be happy and be a nice supporting thing. If you guys send in a super chat, we'll definitely mention your comment or your question on the show. Okay, what's something y'all two disagree on? Belzec2618.
I would say marriage. Nando's more like anti-marriage. I'm not necessarily anti-marriage. I just know that most women are going to ruin a guy's life. So I'm for marriage, but I'm going to be very selective with it. If I never get married, it is what it is. Somebody said another paid chat. You don't have to pay us. Feel free to comment whatever you'd like.
You can comment. But if
prenuptial agreement, yeah, we get that comment a lot, but
they don't
there's
always
ways
hold
around
up.
It doesn't always hold up.
It's
prenuptial agreement only holds up anything you've owned up to that point. After you're married, if you move in with a woman, anything you gain moving forward, she could get that out of you in court. So prenuptial agreement is more to protect anything you've had before the marriage. Right. If that makes sense. Most women are going to ruin a guy's life. Do you see men as the same?
That's a great question. That's a great question. Yeah. So yeah, most women are going to ruin a guy's life. Do you see men as the same?
What can a man do to ruin a woman's life? Give her a kid and then ditch her. I guess that's probably the worst thing you could do.
I think that's one thing. Yeah, I think that's one thing that men do. There are guys that leave women as single mothers. But obviously, there may be reasons behind that. Maybe she just is not a good woman, and maybe they just decide to part ways. And it sucks because he leaves her hanging with the kid, and that's his responsibility. If you have a kid, you got to be responsible.
Just to throw it on the men for a second, because I think it's a valid question. I think the worst thing a man can do to a woman is fake a relationship just to sleep with her. You know what I'm saying? Like fake the whole relationship itself just because he's enjoying sleep with her. That's probably the worst thing you could do. and then give her a kid and then bounce. That's
Yeah.
and some men do that. It's fucked up. Yeah. Men do that all the time. Yeah, true. It's a sad truth. We don't support that though, by the way. That's
Of
not
course, we support men that are doing the right thing. So it's not, again, a lot of people think it's all bash women. We're not bashing women. We want things to work out. If things worked out, if relationships were really hunky dory, as some people like to say, and everything was going well, you know, this podcast may not exist. Some other podcasts with relationships would not exist. I think the problems that relationships have been about, some relationships, most relationships, marriages, etc., have caused people to speak up on it. I mean, you don't learn this shit, a lot of this shit in school. They don't teach you. They should have it doesn't seem like they do. Maybe like, clubs outside of classes and whatnot. But when you go to class to learn a subject. You don't really go to network or really get to know people like that. Sure, they may put you in groups and you may do some group projects, but it's not really the same. Like, it's not focused on really getting to know people and understanding where they come from, build a relationship with them. You kind of have to do that as an extracurricular activity.
Somebody said, "Are you drinking bourbon?" I'm drinking Jim Beam. I'm gonna probably do one more refill before we wrap this up. Why talk about the bad things or the things you can't control? Well, it's a valid point. I'm not saying you could control it, but I think it's important to talk about bad things so you can avoid it. It's more about avoiding than fixing it or controlling it. You can't control bad things. The bad things are going to happen no matter what, but there's certain things you can do. And it took me like 20 years. I'm 39 years old. It took me 20 years of dating, getting cheated on. I was everything. I was the friend zone. I've been the rebound. I've experienced enough of all of it to speak to it. So we're just sharing that with you guys for that reason.
Yeah,
it's more about preventing.
We've all had that ups and downs in relationships. I've had my downs as well. It wasn't always the most perfect thing. I mean, it's never perfect, but that's why we're here talking about it. A lot of people are going through it, and we know what it takes to really have a fulfilling relationship. And that's why there's not a lot of women out there that can fill those shoes. And it's kind of like, well, where is she? Well, it doesn't matter. You got to do you. You got to improve yourself, and obviously put yourself out there, right? Make it known that you are interested in dating, but not make it the end all be all where it's just about that and you're taking your focus away from what you intend to accomplish.
In this dating market, you can't chase women because women have too many options, and something they won't tell you is women like a challenge. A woman is more likely to be attracted to a guy that has other women than a guy that has no women is a good person. When do you see realistically, when do you see attractive women dating guys that have no options but they're good people? It's not how it works. And women don't say this part. They're always about emotional intelligence and all this shit, but if they told you the truth, they would tell you that they would rather share a successful guy that's sleeping with other women because there's that need for it. Like, they have that social proof and they like that challenge, opposed to just a guy that is a good person, financially secure, but he has no women in his life. I know a lot of this shit is harsh, and women might hear this and think oh my God, where's this all coming from? But tell me, am I wrong?
They don't like it.
Am I wrong?
It's funny. They don't like it, but we're speaking the truth. We're telling you what's going on and what to avoid, how to avoid the friend zone. Got off topic into the marriage thing, but I think you're better off avoiding.
Somebody said, "Why would you want a girl like that?" I'm not saying I would want a girl like that. I'm just saying that that's generally how women operate. I've seen it enough times. Women want a guy that has other women. And this is a phenomenon that most guys will experience. When you're single, nobody wants you. You better believe the moment you're in a relationship, women are going to come out of the fucking bushes. Hey, what's up?
Yeah, exactly. And somebody said, I'm married and you're all dumb as hell. Well, we're happy that you're married. We hope you don't get divorced. We hope that you don't become a statistic. So I'll leave it at that. We really hope for the best. Nothing bad to say, even though, you guys are hating, but whatever.
That's why I left Jersey. It's funny. I have a love-hate relationship with Jersey. Like we always talk about like getting out of here and moving to another state, but like something's keeping us here. By the way, where's everybody from? Put it in the comments real quick. I want to know where everyone's from. Last time we had people from all over the place, other countries.
Yeah, we had people from all over the world.
Montana, Illinois, yo. Montana's actually on my list of states I want to visit. I heard it's beautiful. Montana, Wyoming, South Florida.
South
That's where
Florida.
we want to move. Yeah, a bunch of my friends moved down to South Florida and they love it. So
It's funny because somebody asked me when you're going down to Florida. So we'll see.
New York, what part? You're in our neck of the woods.
New York. You guys got lucky tonight because we usually don't go too deep in the comments, but Rob wanted to go deep into the comments, so that's cool. A lot of people from the States. Illinois, Montana, South Florida, New York.
Worst drivers in Florida. I heard that, man. I heard that. Yeah.
I think they're probably pretty rough up here. I mean, you have to be on the defense when you're driving in Jersey. Bronx Yankee Stadium area. I have to say, I hope you're not a Yankee fan. Hope you're a Met fan. I'm going to get hate for that. How much hate can we rile up tonight?
Good women will come to you if you're a good man. Valid point. Valid point. I think that men should be more selective than women are, to be honest with you. All you hear is women talk about their standards and like, oh, you need to make this much, be 6 foot. Yeah. I think in reality, men have to be selective. Because I think what happens is most men don't have the choices. So when a woman gives them the light of day, they're just like 100% bought into them, and that's not the right approach. I used to be that way.
Yeah. San Diego. Atlanta, all right.
Ever drive through Atlanta? I know there's probably a lot of strip clubs there, but what's that one big strip club in Atlanta? I always see about it. I always see videos on it. I forget the name of it.
I wouldn't know that one. I don't know.
Women will come to you if you're a rich man. Yes, but like I was saying before, if you're rich, yes, women will come to you, but you have a target on your back. There's a lot of women out there that are predatory that will try to sleep with you and maneuver their way into you until they get what they want.
It's part of it. I mean, when it comes to money, it definitely is. It definitely is a big part of it. But he has to have a lot of things as well. You know, he has to be 6 foot tall or higher. He has to be in shape. He has to be well groomed. He has to have nice clothes that she likes. He has to have a great personality. That was right before I said the personality thing. That's a lot of appearance stuff that he needs to have before even speaking.
This whole phenomenon of all women having high standards, I think that's just, again, women trying to live up to this unrealistic standard that social media has brought upon us. Mm-hmm. What we see on Instagram and traveling in Greece and all these like upscale places, I think people see that and they're like, oh, I want that too. So that's where those standards come from, because it's not realistic. I think most men will agree that most women don't have realistic standards. Have whatever standards you want. I'm just telling you that. I was watching a podcast the other day, and one of the girls said the guy needs to make $10 million to date her. The fuck, like.
Somebody said Candace Owens. A lot of respect for her.
Yeah.
Shout out to Candace Owens.
Yeah, I watch a lot of Candace Owens.
Doing a lot of good things. Very basic things like hygiene, fitness are things that average women take seriously. If you can't be generous, can't talk. It's almost 4 a.m. Can't talk. Generous or Chris-like or offer more than brushing your teeth, you're not ready for a woman. Definitely. Those are the basics. I mean, those are the things that you should be doing is fitness, taking care of your teeth, taking care of your hair, taking care of yourself overall. Here, I'll give you guys a good idea what men should and women do. Educate yourself if possible. Exercise. Focus on becoming the person you would admire, but also trust. Yep. I mean, definitely you have to have people to look up to. There's been people that inspired me. Rob, I'm sure there's people out there that have inspired you guys to be who you are today. Hopefully it's a positive, inspiration. It's not something taking you into a negative trajectory or anything like that. But we all need someone to look up to. And we ourselves, yes, we have a podcast, but we look up to people too. There's a lot of people that, a lot of things in life help you build character, and you see things that people go through, and that it's like, wow, this person went through that. This person went through this. It really helps you build and build and build and look at yourself in the mirror and realize, okay, am I doing the right thing? Am I doing the wrong thing? You learn from a lot of people, but there's also a lot of inspiration from people out there as well. So. She thinks women aren't traditional enough, yet continues to pursue a non-traditional life. I don't think we have much traditional women anymore. I mean, we do, but it's becoming less and less. So I wouldn't say that we don't completely have traditional women. Not enough. We don't have enough traditional women. What do you say to that? Traditional women versus non-traditional women. I think we're losing a lot of the tradition that, relationships had before.
Traditions are held together usually through religious beliefs. Far more and more people are becoming less and less religious, and that's just the truth. I've never been a super religious person myself, but most traditional marriages, families, beliefs are centered around religion. Somebody mentioned marrying a Muslim woman. Perfect example. They're very religious. They have certain beliefs that they're not willing to cross.
Somebody said, talk to your haters, bro. Your channel will grow exponentially. I think we're talking to a lot of our haters already, so.
You know what it is? Most of the haters, they say the same, 5 things.
Hopefully you guys aren't
They
hating
say
on
the
us,
same
but
5 shit.
we understand, doing this, getting on YouTube, talking about what we're talking about, it comes with the territory. We get it.
Here, I'll respond to one of the haters. Yep, it's Mikey. You gay? No, actually, we were bending your mother over this table last night. We were clapping her cheeks. He has responded to one of my...
All right, Pepros. He hasn't responded to one of my responses. I'm not a hater, but I definitely disagree. What do you disagree with? Maybe we missed it. And then you said earlier, I'm a traditional woman. So what comment? Well, what do you disagree with? Because you said I disagree. But I definitely disagree with what? Be specific. You all regurgitate trash talking points that have been ran through on I guess you meant to say every basic podcast like this.
I'll respond to that. We're not here to reinvent the wheel. Yeah, a lot of podcasts end up echoing the same 5 basic talking points. So what? That doesn't mean we're not going to make our own channel and give our own take on it, our own opinion on it.
You know what? People keep making the same mistakes over and over and over again. So we have to remind people over and over and over again, this is what the right thing to do is. This is what the wrong thing that you are doing, and stop doing it. And this is the result of what will happen if you continue to do so.
Somebody said you guys have guest hosts. If so, I'd like to come on. Yeah, well, look, if anybody lives in Jersey or New York, we're looking for more guests for 2026. So if you're interested in joining the podcast, you can email us at thepodcastguysnj@gmail.com. So it's the podcast guys nj@gmail.com if you're interested.
Mostly looking for ladies. So if the ladies want to come on and they want to debate us, we're happy to have the ladies on. That's why we move forward with having the ladies on, because at first it was just the two of us going back and forth on topics, reacting to some videos out there and some things that would come up out there. And I think the ladies were saying, "Oh, well, you guys are this, you guys are that." Well, we have had the ladies on, and funny enough, they mostly, maybe they're lying, some of them, but for the most part, they've mostly agreed with us on certain topics and conversations that we've had before.
Yeah, if you watch any of our full episodes where we have women on, you'll notice that, like, at the end of the day, men and women do agree on a lot of stuff. We just have different ways of viewing it.
Where are these hordes of traditional women? Yeah,
there are no hordes of traditional
I
women.
wish
Most
there
modern women,
were.
most modern women have been poisoned by feminism. That's the direct answer to that.
Oh, I disagree that Peppers. I disagree that Candace does good things. I disagree that there aren't traditional women. There are, but it's rare. So it's very rare. Like Master Link W7E said, where are these hordes of traditional women? That's my question. Where the hell are they?
Look,
Because
we live
a lot of them are at the clubs right now, drinking away, whoring away.
Look, the reason I say, like,
Not
we
all
always
of
say,
them.
like,
Not all of them.
feminism is
but-
poison, because think about what women were encouraged to do in the 80s, the 50s, the 30s. Women were encouraged to have a husband, to start a family, to be monogamous. Women are encouraged to do the total opposite nowadays, right or wrong. They're encouraged to do the opposite.
Definitely right.
Stay single, be independent. You don't need no men. Men are trash. That's what these women have been force fed since a young age. So it's no surprise that by the time they get to an adult age, they have this mentality.
And then feminism creating equal rights. Well, things seem a little too far to the left with women, because they seem like they get more advantages than men nowadays. You know, they get to get on the yachts for free. They get into VIP for free in the club, right? I mean, a lot of women really are able to get a lot. I mean, men have to pay for, I know, going to the money thing. I know we beat it down like crazy, but when women go on dates with men, they're the ones who are being taken out and being provided for. So, but women also want to go out and make money, but they don't want men to. They don't want to be. They say that men ain't shit. It's just it's very toxic, and
Plus, a lot of it is just contradictory. Like, oh, we're independent, but we don't want to go 50-50, and we want a man to pay for everything. Like, the whole thing just doesn't make sense. Do you want to be independent, or do you want to rely on a man? You know what I'm saying? And realistically, financially, most average, like, American citizens have to go 50-50 to pay a mortgage. An average mortgage on an average house the average house in the U.S. costs $450,000. Your mortgage is going to be like just short of $4,000 a month.
Well, how about this? When she says his money is our money and my money's my money, whatever I make, I spend for my purses and my bags and my bullshit.
Yeah.
Right? But when it's his money, he's got to spend it on her. So, but they want feminism. They want equality. Right? So where's the equality in that? There's none.
No,
There is
feminism tells women to stay independent, don't settle, men are trash. Beautiful message.
Yes, Batman _never_ dies. Secure the bag before you secure the woman. 100%.
Very true. Very true.
100%. Definitely. You
And
have
I will agree with women on. I'll side with them on that. Broke men shouldn't date.
Men
If you're that broke where, like, you can't pay your bills or you're living with your parent, whatever, you shouldn't be focused on dating at all.
Listen, women. We're telling the guys, you have to be ready to pay. So, fellas, when you take a woman out on a date, you have to pay, and you have to be well taken care of, or she's not going to take you seriously. We're supporting you there, you know. So, you know, we get all the hate because you seem offended. It's easy for women to get in their feelings and get offended because women are emotional, but you know, we are supporting that. We are telling men that, hey, these are the expectations that women have. So you better be ready to uphold their standard, or else don't even date. We say, hey, men are better off doing what they have to do to better themselves in life, and then women come along as a result. It just happens. It just happens. Of course, men have to put themselves out there. You can't be doing all these great things and sitting, sitting in your room and not doing anything with it. You have to put yourself out there and get in, make yourself known.
Yeah, I think that's probably the most common thing that most men lack nowadays is drive. You have to have drive. You have to have drive. You have to be focused on finances. Like if your day-to-day life involves, video games, chilling, ordering food, and you're just kind of like relaxed, you're going to have a very hard time in the long run. Look what's going on with the economy. Women have no interest, absolutely no interest in average men. Most average men are invisible to women. They have no interest. So if you live that type of a life, it may seem harmless when you're like 18, 19, 20, 21, but eventually you got to kick into gear and work hard, save your money, and more importantly, learn to invest your money. Because I see
invest your money.
A common thing we did I think we did like an episode or a couple of shorts on this. Where like most of Americans live paycheck to paycheck, and it's not because they're not making enough money; it's because they don't know how to manage their money.
And it's not just about saving your money. You actually have to take it and invest it so you can counteract inflation and things that are really hurting the dollar. So
there's people that make over $100K a year and they're living paycheck to paycheck because they up their lifestyle. Oh well, I could get a nicer apartment now and a car, and I could spend more money on bullshit, and then you're back where you started. The secret to it is you got to live below your means. No matter like as you make more and more money, you got to learn. You got to like force yourself and have the discipline to live below your means, and in the meantime, invest your money. All rich people, wealthy people, live off of their money through investments. I think what's his name, the fucking billionaire. He made most of his money like in his 50s. It's through compounding over the years.
You're talking about Buffett?
Buffett, yeah.
Warren Buffett?
Buffett made like his real money in his 50s. So if you're like 20, 30 and you're like, oh, like, just save and invest your money, and all the information's out there. We're going to eventually bring people on that are going to talk specifically about that. But I mean, just a couple ideas. Like if you can't afford real estate right now, buy SPY, VOO, QQQ. Just put your money in there and leave it long term.
Definitely.
Historically, it's going to give you like 8 to 10% return yearly.
I think this is an important question. We have Skylar Caton that you have a question about. What if a guy hit you? Is that fine? No, that is not fine. Men should never hit women, ever, ever, ever. Sometimes there's a situation where it gets extreme and you have to put yourself on defense. I would try to run or just defend yourself, but completely avoid to the best of your ability, unless you're in a life-threatening situation, never hit women. Men should never hit women. But if you have to defend yourself again in a life-threatening situation, you have no choice. But no, men should never, ever put your hands on women. Never, ever, ever.
This is why you have to also...
I think it's not a super chat, but obviously it's a question that, that's very important to talk about.
Somebody said dividend reinvestment stocks. Precisely.
Yeah. Dividend investment stocks.
If you're looking for anybody that's looking to invest money, if you're looking for a very low risk, it's low risk, low reward, but it's a long-term investment, buy SPY, VOO, QQQ. If you try to put your savings into Bitcoin, you're going to get screwed. I mean, look what just happened this past couple months.
I should talk to this. I have this Bitcoin guy that we were supposed to bring on, but he's been busy, so probably talk to him. We're trying to get a lot of things in the works. As we appreciate your guys' support. We're going to go on for, what do you say, probably another 10, 15 minutes.
Yeah.
But, hit that subscribe button. If you have any specific question that you definitely want us to hop on, your support is appreciated with a super chat. If not, we are reading comments. So, going through your comments, we went off topic, so we'll probably go live again tomorrow or Sunday and talk about the friend zone situation and avoiding that a little bit more. But we definitely love engaging with you guys, good or bad comments. The love, showing the love, which is great. We appreciate it. Showing the hate, which is fine. Lights a fire in our ass to keep going hard. But I think we should. We want to get more into money and finances and bring people that are in that profession that know more about it than us, because we don't know about all those things. So I think that would be great to have somebody to talk about finances, Bitcoin, stocks, things like that.
Somebody said crypto is retarded. It really is. What's been going on this past couple months really changed my changed my view on it. Luckily, I only have like a little bit invested in crypto, but I would never go all in on it.
And yeah, I don't know much about it. That's why I would rather have, somebody that's a professional talk about it,
Yep.
but not crazy about Bitcoin and things
Crypto
like
is a
that.
little bit too volatile, and I honestly speaking, I don't see what the actual value is in it yet. People swore up and down on Bitcoin. Look what happened this past couple of months.
Yeah.
It went from like 120 to 110 to like 85K. Can't wait till it drops out of sight so I can laugh at it. It might happen. It might happen. This is why like I'm more on I believe I like investing in ETFs personally. You could actually look back at a chart of the last like 50 to 100 years and see the patterns. Like ETFs have never dropped more than like I want to say like 20 something percent.
And it's scary because people get into these coins and then they get
Coins are risky.
They get rug pulled and then they get screwed over and scammed, and it's really tough to see. But again, people.
I bought Dogecoin at 57 cents and everybody was hyping it up. And I even at that time I wasn't. It was like I think it was around like 2020. My coworker's like, you got to buy it. My other friend's like, you got to buy it. And then finally, one of my friends that's like really analytical, he was like, I'm buying it. You should buy it too. And I was like, all right, screw it. I bought like $1,000 worth, and now it's at like I don't even want to look at it. I lost like 2/3 of my money on it.
Housing market dropped too. It may not. They've been saying that for 4 or 5 years. I have a little bit of expertise in that. Not going to get into much of what I know, but
they're supposed to drop rates this month.
But I'll tell you this: rates are dropping. Things are getting a little bit better, but definitely the rates peaked. But you never know; it's up and down. I've been involved in things with housing and whatnot, and it doesn't seem like it's slowing down. I mean, inventory's low for the most part, at least by us. Not sure how most of the other markets are going, but mostly by us, inventory is low. There's still a lot of buyers, but the sellers are really starting to add up a little bit. But there's still more inventory, so it's a weird time, and housing market is part of that weird time.
At this point, I think it's a matter of waiting for the boomers to, hate to say it, be negative, but it's the boomers that are holding on to a lot of these properties. And we are supposed to see more rate cuts this month. They're supposed to announce that. They announced it actually the last rate cut that there's another one coming this month. So we'll see. But I don't think house prices are going to drop that much soon.
Probably get a lender on the show at some point. See, these are all things that we have in mind. So it's not just dating guys. So, we get a lot of hate for that, but we're not just going to get into dating. We're going to talk about a bunch of other things and how to help the men, but also if the ladies enjoy it and want to listen in. Stuff's here for you too.
Somebody said, how can you short Bitcoin? You could buy an inverse of Bitcoin. There's inverses of everything. Stocks, there's inverses of, there's leveraged inverses of Bitcoin, but anything leveraged, be careful with that. A lot of people get screwed that way.
Just be very careful. We're putting it out there. We're not professionals. Get advice from professionals on Bitcoin and stocks and whatnot, but we'll give you our suggestions.
What I like to do personally is I like to just dollar cost average SPY. To me that's a safe bet. Buy it throughout the year, keep adding to it, and look pull up a chart of the S&P 500 from the last 100 years, and you'll see that it averages 8 to 10% a year. There's going to be years where it's not going to do that, but if you hold it 10, 20 years, it's a safe bet. Ultimately, the goal is to own real estate. I think we could both agree on that. But
yeah, I think real estate is your best bet. Try to find a way to get into it. If you can put in offers and lowball offers and see if you get accepted, I think that's your best bet. But real estate is the way to go. You have more of a sure thing as far as an investment. You have depreciation, which you can write off. You have the house appreciating. There's some people that I know that they've bought properties. Next thing you know, a few months later, a year later, the property's up thousands of dollars, hundreds of thousands of dollars. Obviously, depending on the type of property in the market you're in, but I think real estate is a great way to go.
You guys ever watch Ben Mala? We actually had a chance to meet him in Fort Lauderdale. What was it, like 2 years ago?
Oh yeah,
We were in Fort Lauderdale. He did a meet and greet. He pulled up on a yacht. The guy is exactly the same in person as he is on video. Very cool to talk to.
Yeah.
He stayed there like a good couple hours and answered everyone's questions. But yeah, real estate is the way to go. I think the problem is most people can't afford real estate, so they're saving up their money and investing to get to it. But like in I can't speak on behalf of other states. I don't know where you guys are from. New Jersey, you're a real estate agent. What does like an average one family go for in a regular town?
Probably 400,000 or 500,000.
Yeah.
I mean, at best, and then you're going up from there.
Multifamily, 700,000 and up. Careful with real estate. I am going to kick it into teeth soon. I do see a lot of these like fear mongering videos where they're saying that real estate's going to crash, real estate's going to crash. But just like with stocks, you can't time it. Look what happened in 2008. Like nobody knew it was going to happen at that specific time. It's one of those things where like you could say it's coming, but like good luck catching it when it happens. So
The average price for a single family in Jersey, you're looking at 550 to 600,000. So
Kenilworth is pretty expensive from what I've seen. Keensburg, that's more down the shore. I haven't looked at Keensburg pricing, but
in multifamily, you're looking much higher. Hard to get a 3-4 family, but if you can get into 2, 3, 4 family, I think that's great. You get that passive income of rent.
property taxes are insane. Yeah, and what's the average property tax in Jersey? 10,000?
Let's see. Got the good old computer here, so let's look it up.
I still think it's fucked up that once you pay off a house, you still have to pay property taxes. There's rumors that Trump wants to abolish income tax. We'll see if that's actually true.
Yeah, as of 2024, the tax bill exceeded 10,000 for the first time. So
There you go.
nuts.
The average property tax in Jersey is 10,000.
It's a lot of money. It's a lot of money. But you know what sucks is that a lot of taxes that we pay, including property taxes, like why can't when you just at least pay the property off, you get to that point where you pay the property off, no more taxes.
You never truly own it because you're paying taxes for the rest of your life. You pay income tax. You pay taxes whenever you purchase something, and then you pay taxes on the property that you paid off and own. It's pretty wild. Yeah, Patterson has some multifamilies for like 700,000 multi-unit properties. I would say the only risk in that, I mean, I think there's a lot of great investment opportunities in Patterson and Newark. It's just a matter of getting tenants that are going to pay.
Well, it's very random. It's very random as far as how much you want to be in the green when you're renting, right? When you have a multifamily, you're renting it out. You don't want to be down under, in the negative, trying to keep up with taxes, maintenance, insurance, and whatnot. So mortgage costs. Also, you want to have those units filled, right? You don't want any vacancies. The more you have, though, the more you can, you're not at risk per se, but you definitely want to make sure that, and in Jersey, it's easy to really get things rented out. I mean, so many people in the state, as long as you have a property, the rental is not overpriced, and you're in an area where, people need to get to a bus. It's easy, it has possibly a nice downtown, has what people need, close to the city. A lot of people like to be in an area that's close to the city, but a lot of people don't like to be in the city. That's why they're in Jersey. Definitely something to take advantage of. Somebody
said Irvington. Yeah, I think when it comes to multifamilies, you could get a steal on a multifamily in Newark, Irvington, East Orange.
There's opportunities everywhere. Definitely, you can take advantage of it. You could get a deal anywhere. You may be taking on certain risk. Maybe the house has certain issues that you have to go in and maybe, there's an issue with the house that you have to fix. you fix it up, and then it's going to be worth more. You can rent it out. But usually if you pay lower, there's, probably something up with the house that you have to fix. Definitely want to avoid any issues, structural issues, environmental issues. Those oil tank spills I've heard costs go from $5K to $700K. Like, it's insane. So we're not just trying to save you with the dating, but we're also letting you know, watch out for those damn soil contaminations, because, man, those can run you up a hell of a bill. That's for sure. I'd rather buy a boat and charge people to fish.
It's funny. We were in Miami 2 years ago, and we took one of those like tiki boats, and the guy that was driving the boat started telling us that his family or something runs like a fleet of those, and it sounds like a good business. I guess if you know what you're doing, if you buy a boat, you can charter it, especially in a place like Miami. To charter a small boat in Miami, I think it's something like $400 to $800 for like a half an hour to an hour. So there's definitely money into it, but I don't know the operating cost of owning or having a boat. So, but if you do it in the right place, I could see that being a great business.
Damn right. These two give dating advice.
While you're here, give us some advice.
We do. We do a good job, and I think we're only getting better.
$5.
I think we're only improving.
Why does everyone have a podcast nowadays?
See what's funny is that...
Why wouldn't you have a podcast? Start your own. Why wouldn't you start one?
See what's funny is that people come and hate, but why don't they do their own shit? And
I always find people that write shit like that, it's funny to me because they're in the chat, they're obviously watching, they're typing comments. Start your own shit. Maybe you have something to offer the world. What's the point in watching us and writing bullshit like that? I don't understand.
That's what I'm saying.
I wouldn't have the time to sit there and write bullshit in people's chats like that. Like, oh, you're a gay, you're a fucking. Why do you have a podcast? Fucking sound like a retard. It's like,
yeah, we don't need it. It's up to you guys. You guys don't have to be here, but hey, if you have frustrations that you have to let out, that's fine. You can hate all you want. That's fine.
Yeah, give some advice. We're here. Go for it. You have a picture of yourself in a suit and tie, so. My show will be canceled immediately. No, we're all in the same boat. You gotta like say what you have to say, but filter it. Maybe we should just go live on Rumble and just go fucking off. I have a bunch of shit I want to say that I can't say on here, but
we could. We gotta get some follows on there if you guys want to go ahead and follow our Rumble. But we haven't. I think we need to do more with it, but we haven't put as much into it as with the YouTube. But soon we're going to be jumping off, guys. So you guys have any serious questions that you kind of want to throw in there, that you want to ask? Hey, we're keep it simple, man. We're down to earth. The podcast guys, I think, is the best, name for our podcast. Again, you do your podcast.
What about JFK?
Show us the name of your podcast. We'll check it out.
Look. Somebody asked, what about JFK? The CIA is behind 90% of that shit. Where did y'all go to college? In Jersey. Both of us went to college in Jersey.
Jersey, yep. Thankfully, we were able to get jobs, right? Out of college and do what we're doing, but a lot of people are struggling with that too.
No, we didn't go to Rutgers.
I did apply.
Great business school.
I did apply to Rutgers, but no, I decided not to go there. I didn't think it was best for.
How much is Rutgers
for my situation?
It's like $20K.
Probably like 20. For me, it was like $20K a year when I was crunching the numbers, but that was 12, 13 years ago.
You guys are brothers. We're brothers from another mother. You could say that. Divorced dad energy on the left.
We haven't been
married. My dad is divorced.
We haven't been married. If you're talking about us, or he's talking about your dad.
College was free for me.
But any serious questions, you guys, before we
wrap it up, you guys have any questions, comments, concerns?
We've done
it's 4:33 here.
We've been pretty nice about engaging with the chat. We kind of went off topic a little bit, quite a bit actually. But we appreciate you guys being here on a Friday night at about 4:30 a.m. on the East Coast. You involved in vacation real estate areas at all? Not sure what you mean by the question. If I do real estate,
are you involved in real estate investing, like in
it says you involved
in vacation areas?
All vacation areas, I think that's great. I think that definitely would be the best way to go. If a lot of people do Airbnb, not really my cup of tea, but there's a lot of people that have success with it, and there's a lot of people that I've heard that haven't been so successful. But there's a lot of laws too that have come up with Airbnbs. I mean,
the laws killed it.
There's a lot of restrictions in certain areas about that. So I'm more of like a passive income, rentals, having multifamilies, and passive income. I think that's what works for me. That's what has worked for me up to this point. That's what I see and know a lot of people have is that that passive income. So
at one point we were looking at vacation rentals in Florida, right? Because it was like 2020, 2021 was the peak where everyone was going to South Florida. And now go look what's happening with short-term rentals and condos in general. Most condos don't allow short-term rentals. So anybody that invested that is screwed. They're shit out of luck. After those two buildings collapsed in Miami, now they made this new law where every single building in Miami has to be inspected every 10 years. So all these existing buildings with structural issues are looking at like hundreds of thousands of dollars of repairs, and that gets thrown onto the tenants. So right now, if you're going to do, short-term vacation rentals, do your research first. Poconos is another one. Like, we live in Jersey. At some point, I was looking at Poconos short-term rentals. Same thing over there. A lot of places don't allow it. Some of the communities, like the HOA, doesn't allow short-term rentals, or neighbors complain. So just do your research, because once you buy the property, you got to pay that mortgage. So
HOA scandals like crazy down here. Yeah,
Yep.
HOA is the worst.
Yep.
Is what I've heard. I mean, they can throw in one of those special assessment fees, and you are fucked. So. Just be careful. Again, every advice that we give, when we're talking about real estate, stocks, investments, Bitcoin, do your research. Even earlier, when we were talking about marriage, we were talking about therapy. Do your research. Talk to the professionals. But we're giving you the advice and what we think about the situations for it all. But make sure with whatever you're doing, you're always making the right decisions, especially when it comes to money, real estate, and things like that.
Somebody said Poconos rentals are rough with HOAs. One of my friends bought a short-term rental. They bought the house at a really good price. They bought it for like $200,000. They were renting it out. Things were going well, and they sold it for that exact same reason.
They
sold it for the exact same. Too many problems. Like neighbors complain, the HOA complains, and it just gets to a point where it makes no financial sense. Yeah, I guess it's 4:36 here. I think we'll slowly start to wrap it up.
I think we'll wrap it up. So, guys, thank you. So much for watching. We appreciate the love. We appreciate the hate. Keep it coming. It's fine. We can take it. We're big boys. So we know it's part of the territory of YouTube, but we'll be back live. So definitely it doesn't scare us away. We're going to be back maybe tomorrow night, maybe Sunday. So we'll see, but make sure you keep an eye out. We have some videos coming up with the ladies. We'll likely be going live with them. Support the show. We're on multiple platforms.
Somebody said how to approach. If you like that topic, we could do a how to approach video. We're gonna have Sar of Dating back on. I know somebody asked about that, so maybe we'll save that for Sar. So
we'll do some with Zar, and we'll do some. We mostly do ourselves, so we could probably put it together how to approach video ourselves. So we'll, we have a lot planned, so we take it one day at a time, but we'll definitely set it up. We're definitely gonna talk about the Akash situation. Maybe we'll have Zar here for that. Not sure, but no matter what, we'll discuss that. But again, guys, we're on most platforms. We're on Rumble, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, Spotify, Threads. We are basically the podcast guys _ the podcast guys regular on those platforms. We're also on on X, the podcast guys 5 on that one. And on YouTube, of course. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Support your boys. We, lost a little sleep here for you guys because we want to make, as corny as it sounds, we want to make the world go around. So we want to help you guys out. We'll get back to the topics. We'll talk more about how to avoid the friend zone as well. That's not, the end of that conversation. So we'll come back with that. But support the show. Thanks for hanging out with us tonight. And support the channel. Subscribe to the channel. Like the video. And share the video. And come back next time. We hope to see you again. Peace out.